Hello and welcome to another Teacher's Corner playing on my Temporal Agent. We're leveling it up. I'm currently level 19. Oh, looks like I have a duty officer assignment. 2 duty officer assignments available. Well, sometimes you get a failure. That happens. So I'm going to acknowledge that report. And I also received a critical success, yay, from confiscate contraband from crew. Contraband is a very important substance, but I did get 442 development XP from that. Nice, and I'm going to collect that. Alright, moving along, we just finished Task Force Hippocrates. I do have another space point to spend, so I'm going to finish out Improved Control Expertise. Okay, this will give me a little bit of flexibility so that I can have a gravity well that will at least suck in a few things, or pull in a few things when I cast it out. If I choose to have a gravity well later on as I progress up, they can be quite handy, so I'm going to actually go ahead and do that. That also gets me that much closer to my science ultimate skill of probability manipulation, and you can see I have a point to spend here. I can choose between maximum shield capacity or starship stealth. Now really there's no reason to choose starship stealth. Most players are fed players and don't have cloak, and even if you do, it's only plus 100. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. You're much better off choosing maximum shield capacity and get yourself an extra shield capacity skill. This is the same as spending 1 point in shield capacity. So, and I'll show you, this was plus 10, so you'll see plus 15 and plus 15, so this gives you an average of 85. So it's almost the same as spending your second point and then your third point. So you get an extra plus 10 to that, which is helpful. It's almost the same as spending a point in shield capacity, so that gives us a little bit extra, and there we go. So moving right along now to one of my favorite episodes, Skirmish. And finished another duty officer mission. Unfortunately it was a failure. That's okay, they do happen. Alright, one of my favorite missions, Skirmish. This is the first time we encounter the Davidians. There's also a special reward I'll talk about when it comes up. Here we go.
We have reports of a true wave fleet entering the neutral zone and picking a fight with the Klingons near the Donatu system. Having 2 of our enemies fight is good for the Federation, but I want to know why the true way is so far out of their territory. Intercept them and deal with them. If you need to engage the Klingons as well, do so. A Starfleet task force has already been sent to the area. You'll need to join them in the Donatu system as soon as possible.
Go to the Donatu system, which is located in the Beta Quadrant, and engage a True Way attack force. So you'll see here, now the rewards, we have 2 choices. We can choose the Phase Shift Personal Shield, Mark IV with cap and regen. Meh. But the really good thing is the Subspace Field Modulator. Here's why. Look at the very first stat. Plus 34 all damage resistance rating for 15 seconds. So far, no enemies really use proton, so the minus 400 proton resistance rating, meh. But plus 15% defense for 15 seconds. So you get a good damage boost and a good defense boost for 15 seconds. This is basically an oh shit button that you get to put not in a console slot, but instead in a device slot. So this comes in very handy. So I highly recommend getting it if you haven't already. Go back and replay the mission Skirmish and you can get it again if you haven't, or you can get it if you didn't get it already. Alright, so I'm going to accept.
Until next time.
And now we're going to transwarp to the starting location.
On the front lines of the Klingon Federation War, brave captains from both sides battle to defend their homes and gain advantages for their faction. Each death has meaning. Every victory can turn the tide. These are the conflicts that will determine the fate of the quadrant.
Alright, so we have the Donatu system, and I'm going to Captain, I'm picking up multiple hostile contacts, both Klingon and True Way. I can understand the Klingons being here. Whoa! They're shooting at... I better shoot back. Fire, temporal destabilization. Where's that center analysis? Whew, okay. We can breathe. Let's go get him. Center analysis. Woohoo! Jem'Hadar dying left and right. Center analysis again. Shields are going down. Emergency or shield science team. What am I thinking? Yeah, science team. That's what I was thinking. Hazard emitters. Hey, we have our molecular deconstruction beam ready. Fire! Okay. There we go. And the axon. Alright. We've disabled the axon. Now we get to board her. Okay, there's our op. The Cardassian flagship, the Axon, has been disabled, sir. Her warp core is stable, for now. Recommend we get a closer look. So we can approach. And we can beam to the... Alright. We have our 3 engineers and our 1 scientist. Captain, Cardassian security teams are already starting to move in our position. We should expect heavy resistance. Alrighty. So let's figure out. Now, when I looked at my Temporal Agent thing, I noticed, highlight that, and if we come down here, it says, investigate Temporal Probe aboard CUV Axon in Skirmish, which means somewhere on this ship is the Temporal Probe. So we're going to keep our eyes looking for it, looking out for it. It has not appeared in our mission yet, so I don't think we're quite close. We'll look for... Oh, there it is. It just popped up. Alright, so it's somewhere in this direction. Let's see if we can find it. Assuming these glens and gulls will let us. Alright, let's see if we can find this temporal probe. Not this way. Okay, let's see. Oh, Glenn! Just to satisfy my curiosity, let's make sure it's not back this way. This was our other choice, okay. We had a couple items here. And... Alrighty. Nope, nothing. Alright, no temporal probe that away. So let's continue on back to our mission. Not seeing it. It might be in this room. Let's finish clearing the room. Kill the Glen! My apologies to anyone named Glenn. Okay. Kill the Cardies! I don't see any temporal probe. Let's see. What was that? Something popped up. Oh, take items. He dropped something. He dropped something, Captain. No temporal probes on this side. Let's check over here. Don't see nothing. If you don't see nothing, then you did see something. Okay, don't see anything. Let's disable the security force field. Maybe it's further on this way. Should take care of all the security measures, okay? And moving along. Still no temporal probe. Those pesky temporal probe. Pesky, pesky. Okay, ops. It's telling me something. Okay. Oh. There's a gill! Kill the gill! Alrighty. Still looking for that temporal probe. Not seeing it anywhere. Oh my goodness. They're not making this easy today. That was the fire. Alright. Kill the Cardies! Oh no! Okay. I think we got them all. Captain, did you see that? Yes, I saw all the lights shift blue. I often want to say, no, I'm blind as a bat. I did not see anything. Okay, investigate the dead Cardassian. Captain, what were those things? Sir, this Cardassian doesn't have any wounds on him, but my readings show that he was dead before we entered this room. I recommend we find a medkit and perform an examination of the corpse. We need to know more about what happened to him. If he was attacked by those creatures, we need to be cautious. Any contact may be lethal. Alright. So let's check. I don't see any temporal probes, but let's double check. I see a crafting material, but I don't see any temporal probe. Let's go get the crafting material. Scan duranium ore. Scanning. And matched. Yay! Alright, take the shortcut down. Where is that darn temporal probe? Investigating another dead Cardassian. And again, no temporal probes in sight. Where is that temporal probe? Sir, this Cardassian looks to have done the same cause as Cardassian contained in the mess hall. Okay, let's see. We need to find a medkit to know more about what happened to him. And there's the medkit right there. All the medical equipment in this kit has been sterilized and is ready for use. Alright, and I have been through this so much, but it says we need background, so we need to exit and go read all of the different medical records. Let's see where there's one. And I'm going to skip through this. Okay. Because basically autopsy was using a neuralite probe. I'm not going to read the whole thing for you, but I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one. And CMO, okay, blah blah blah. Autopsy on the patient was conducted using a laser scalpel to open the chest cavity. We're not worried about that one. And again, no temporal probes anywhere in sight. They are not making this easy. T-cell stimulator, okay. But this patient was not the patient that we want. And one more patient record, protoplasr. Alright. Because he was at the EPS conduit. Okay, now up to the medkit. And we're going to use the med kit this time. And we want the Neuralite probe. Biological enzymes, tissue samples in the brain or nervous system. Okay, we want to use the Neuralite probe. That tool should give us a better insight into the cause of death for Cardassian in the mess hall. We can use the Neuralite probe to obtain the sample, blah blah blah. Okay, and there we go. And investigate. I'm doing it here. The Neuralite probe has determined that this individual died from a radical decrease in neural energy. It's almost as if he was drained by an outside source. All of the brain's activity came to a complete stop as its energy was depleted. Sir, there's a great deal of interference being picked up by the tricorder. Most likely the result of an energy residue from whatever was used to do this to the Cardassian. Perhaps we can track it down by following the energy trail. There is a science lab across the hall from the medbay. It should have access to the ship's internal sensors. So we want to use the internal sensors in the science lab to track the anomalous energy residue. One last sweep. No temporal probes in sight. So let's go across the way. Maybe our temporal probe is in here. Let's see. There's crafting materials up there. We'll have to double check. Let's go explore. There we go. Skinned uranium ore. But again, no temporal probe. Boy, this is an elusive one. Alright. There we go. And we'll take the shortcut down. I always like doing that. There we go. Alright, and we know, or I know what it is, so I'm going to go for triolic waves. As I said, I've done this before. Scan for triolic waves. I'm picking up a large concentration of triolic waves centered around the ship's bridge, Captain. Triolic waves are harmful to humanoids. We will not be able to be in the area for long, and the Cardassians would be subject to the deleterious effects as well. They would not knowingly use triolic energy. I'd suggest we take a closer look. Whatever is causing the triolic waves probably is responsible for the deaths of the Cardassians in the mess hall. Investigate triolic wave energy on the bridge. And continue. And our temporal probe should be then on the bridge because it is not in here. Captain, it's headed for the bridge! And turn, let's make sure nothing back over here. Alright, and head towards the bridge. No temporal probes in sight. Alright. Still no temporal probe. Oh my goodness. And I see nothing, nothing, nothing. Alright, it better be on the bridge. I don't see anything yet. Oh, I found it. There's a So let's clear the bridge, and then we will find our temporal probe. Remember, it may not be in the same location for you. The important thing is to continue to search. The Davidians, as you can see, do not like these weapons. They do quite well in shredding them. Alright. There's no mistaking them now, Captain. Those were Davidians. What's curious, though, is that Davidians are out of phase with us. Normally, we can't see them without a subspace force field tuned with an extremely sensitive phase discriminator. We didn't have that, so how are they appearing in our reality? I recommend checking the Axon's crew logs and trees. Maybe they were doing something that made it easier for the Davidians to exist here. We will check that right after we do our Temporal Probe. Alright, and now unlock Temporal Probe. Let's see what puzzle they have for us this time. Okay, an easy one. 4 plus 2, that means we need a 9. There we go. 7 plus 5 is 12, so we need a 3 for variable B. And 1 plus 8 is 9, which means C has to be a 6. And there we go. It looks like this probe is collecting data on the Davidians. Considering their skill at time travel, I can see the Nikul's interest in them. There's evidence to suggest that the Nikul are trying to communicate with the Davidians as well. That's an alliance we don't need happening. Alright, and we've recovered some gear for temporal agents. A purple mark, or a blue, sorry, Mark IV dis and plasma shield. Personal shield. Alright, now we can check the crew, we can check the logs of the Axon crew. Here we go. And we can read through the logs. Axon disabled, chief medical officer's concerned. Okay, so not much information here. Chief engineer's log. Repairs to the Axon go as expected. Running low on deuterium and warp coils. Wish there was more time between battles. 4 crewmen down, 1 died. Unusual spike in triolic wave energy may be affecting warp core efficiency. Must speak to Triolic and see if his sensor readings have turned up anything unusual. Alright. Letter from so-and-so 6 months ago would have ignored her plea. Now though I miss her and see no end to this fighting. Alright. And science officer's log. My duties on combat mission are limited. Blah blah blah. Okay, triolic waves will unfortunately prevent a closer study of the comet. So there's a comet around here. They are quite harmful to humanoid life forms, and the captain is loath to jeopardize our mission for my curiosity. I have requested the launch of a Class 1 probe. Chronotons are even greater interest. Okay, I must have more data. Blah blah blah. So, comet with chronotons and triolic wave. And that is our interesting data. Now we can return to the ship. Alright, and that completes Skirmish. We have...
Are you sure you found no sign of the Cardassians attempting to open a portal, or otherwise bring the Davidians into our phase variants? This is troublesome. There are pieces to the puzzle I don't have yet. Let me do some digging and I will be in touch.
Alright, and I'm going to pick Subspace Field Modulator and Collector.
Congratulations, Commander.
Alright, and now we are at level 20. Alright, So I'm going to take the promotion episode.
Congratulations. You've proven yourself and are due the accolades of a true Klingon warrior. Return to First City on Kronos.
Well, that was definitely not Admiral Quinn's voice. That was the KDF Jempek, KDF's Chancellor. And that's funny. But we will be returning to ESD to accept the promotion to level 20. And I'm going to exit. So I will see you next time for preparing our level 20 ship and all the things that go with that. We'll decline this mission, and then for spin the wheel. And then for the mission, spin the wheel. This has been a playthrough with Teacher Kirby, and I will see you next time.